On this very night, exactly 52 years ago, Rudolph Giuliani was very excited because the next day he was going to become a lawyer. Rudy Giuliani was admitted to the bar of the state of New York on June 25th, 1969. And today, the day before his 52nd birthday as a lawyer, Rudy Giuliani was disbarred temporarily with permanent disbarment, likely after a hearing has been scheduled for that permanent disbarment. The Supreme Court of the state of New York suspended Rudy Giuliani's license to practice law today because the court concluded that Giuliani, quote, Giuliani's conduct immediately threatens public interest. The court took action against Rudy Giuliani because of lies about the presidential election that Rudy Giuliani told in court in the course of representing his client, Donald Trump, and because of lies Rudy Giuliani told outside of court, which violate the rule that lawyers must not, quote, engage in conduct involving dishonesty, fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation. Rudy Giuliani told the court that he did not know that his lies were lies when he said them. The court said that ignorance is not a defense for lawyers in cases like this. The court carefully dismantled many of Rudy Giuliani's lies, including lies he told about 30,000 dead people voting in Philadelphia. The court quoted Giuliani saying repeatedly that the former heavyweight boxer Joe Frazier, who died in 2011, voted in the 2020 election. The court said, quote, public records show that Pennsylvania formally canceled Mr. Frazier's eligibility to vote on February 8th, 2012, 3 months after he died. The court said Rudy Giuliani failed to, quote, provide a scintilla of evidence for any of the varying and wildly inconsistent numbers of dead people he factually represented voted in Philadelphia during the 2020 presidential election. The court noted that Rudy Giuliani, his misconduct directly inflamed tensions that bubbled over into the events of January 6, 2021 in this nation's capital. The seriousness of respondents' uncontroverted misconduct cannot be overstated. This country is being torn apart by continued attacks on the legitimacy of the 2020 election and of our current president, Joseph R. Biden. Joining us now is Zerlina Maxwell, host of the program Zerlina, which airs on Peacock, and back with us is John Holliman. And Zerlina, it was inevitable watching the madness of Rudy Giuliani spin out of control. This is stage one of the price he's going to be paying for that.
Right, Lawrence, and I think that it's a big moment. Finally, there is accountability for lying about the election. And I think that it should be noted that this is wholly separate from the federal investigation into his dealings with Ukraine, Lawrence. And so I think that Rudy Giuliani has problems on multiple fronts. And today is a day where the American people can be assured that someone is being held accountable finally for lying about the election and causing the insurrection. If you recall, he was even more egregious than Donald Trump was on that day. He talked about having trial by combat. And so he was even more clear about what he wanted those people to do, march up Pennsylvania Avenue to do, Lawrence.
And John, the court was stunned that Rudy Giuliani continued to commit these offenses while this proceeding was going on. And they cited all of the times he lied in March and in April when he knew he was being investigated for those same lies.
You know, Lawrence, calls to mind in the 2008 presidential campaign, you may recall that Joe Biden's best moment, he did not have a great 2008 presidential campaign. His best moment was a debate in which he said famously that every sentence that came out of Rudy Giuliani's mouth was a noun, a verb, and 9/11, right? That was his joke. It was a good joke. This document is the Rudy Giuliani of the Trump era. Every sentence is a lie, and another lie. I mean, it is not just pernicious, and it's the part that you just read or just referred to it speaks to a kind of mental illness. It's not, he obviously went off his rocker. I'm not a professional in this respect, but I could use colloquialisms, right? Everybody talks about how far the fall has been from America's mayor and the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, and all of the things, the third-ranking official in the Justice Department, how far the mighty are fallen. But my God, if you looked at his performance as a political actor and as a lawyer in the 4 years of Donald Trump's administration, you would say that that person, not technically speaking, but colloquially, had lost his mind. And I think that that is the only way you can explain someone who's facing these kind of disciplinary proceedings and continues to commit the very crime or the very offense that you know you're about to lose your law license for.
And Giuliana, this is the preliminary suspension, and they only do this in egregious cases where they believe the conduct must be stopped immediately. And they said in their decision, when we do this, it means it is very likely you are going to be permanently disbarred. Rudy Giuliani can ask for a hearing. He has not yet officially asked for that hearing, but he's suggesting that he's going to want that hearing to try to defend this case. And so we have that hearing to look forward to.
Well, that will be a fun time, Lawrence, because every time he's on camera, it's an adventure. But I think that, there's two rules I really remember from law school. Don't mess with the money, and you can't lie in official court proceedings and documents. But the lying piece is always it's like an asterisk thing, because lawyers, I think, have a reputation for stretching the truth. But you can't out and out willfully lie, especially if you know the things that you are saying are not true. And one of the things that I think is underlying all of this, Lawrence, is the connection between what Rudy Giuliani has been doing since the election and the states passing voter suppression. Rudy Giuliani is one of the biggest proponents of the big lie, and the states that are the most egregious in passing voter suppression laws are those states that turn from red to blue and are undergoing demographic shifts. So all of this is connected, Lawrence. The big lie is connected to the real truth that the demographics in the country are shifting and Republicans are terrified. And really, Rudy Giuliani has been the biggest mouthpiece spouting those lies.
Giuliana Maxwell and John Heilemann, thank you both for joining us tonight.